did. And he's making a point there when he says that. Paul says that. God elected grace before man ever could do it right or wrong. God didn't elect grace after man got it wrong. He elected grace from before man even opened his eyes. It's called the Spirit of grace. And so God determined things before man ever got it right or wrong. God didn't create man and then say, well, let's see if man can do it right. If they can do it right, then they'll be worthy of love, then they'll be worthy of my life, and then they can have it. God judged all of that before he even made man. Okay, so he has in his heart what he wants to do. He makes man, he sees man, he says, they are my kind, they're in my image and likeness. At that moment, he judged man was worthy of love and man was worthy of his life. That's what he judged. And he judged that the way that they would experience his love and the way that they would have his life is by the same thing he has in himself, which is called grace. That's why the Holy Spirit's called the Spirit of grace. So God judged those things before man ever got it wrong. So God determined what man was worthy of and what they deserved from design, not from works.
Yes.
And that's what the whole point about Jacob and Esau is. That God determined grace before anything. And this is demonstrated in that he chose Jacob over Esau before they were even born, he's saying. Right? So that their works wouldn't play a role. And so God did the same thing with man. He didn't decide what man was worthy of and what they deserved by looking at their works. Now, based on the truth that the wages of sin is death, yes, if we sin and reject his life, then we're going to have death, and it won't be unjust for us to have death. But that doesn't now mean that's what God judged we're worthy of.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's a big difference there.
Huge
It's
difference.
a big difference. You can't even experience the love of God if you think you're not worthy of it. Nor can you really experience grace if you think you don't deserve it. You can't experience the blessing of God if you think you don't deserve it. And this is what I'm talking about in continuing with a law-based mindset. If you're thinking with the law, you judge what somebody deserves based on what they do.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's a law way of thinking. God doesn't judge what somebody deserves based on what they do. He'll give them what they want in the day they decide they don't want life and they want death. But he's not busy thinking, they're getting what they deserve.
No.
You know,
Yes.